fencing, flooring, roofing, solar, tree service. After 250 signed clients, I finally have a real tier list of which niches actually pay. And it is not the one every guru on this platform is screaming at you to pick. One guy switched niches off this exact list and did $36,000 in 3 weeks. One switch. So before you spend the next 6 months building an agency in the wrong market, watch this whole thing. Because I'm going to give you the literal tier list and the exact 3-part test I use to place any niche on it, so you never bet your agency on the wrong market again. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rank the niches I've actually run money through, steer down to C, no theory, all from real deals. Then I'm going to hand you the exact 3-part test I use to place any niche on this list. So when this video ends, you can grade fencing, plumbing, dog grooming, whatever you want by yourself in about 60 seconds. Stay till the end because the niche almost nobody picks is sitting in my S tier, and it's the same one that got a client 30 years, replies in 2 days. Let's go. Let me guess where you are right now. You watched a video that said roofing is a gold mine. Then another one said solar is printing money. Then somebody told you med spa is where the real cash is. So you picked the loudest one, you sent a few hundred messages and you got nothing back. And now you think you're bad at this. You're not bad at this. You picked a market where every other beginner agency on earth is fighting over the same 40 contractors. You walked into the most crowded room in the building and wondered why nobody could hear you. That's not a you problem. That's a battlefield problem. You chose the wrong battlefield. So here is the one idea this whole video sits on. You do not want the niche with the most money. You want the niche with the most money per amount of competition. A smaller pie with 3 people at the table beats a giant pie with 300 people stabbing each other for a slice. Everybody chases the biggest pile of cash and forgets there's 1,000 other agencies standing on top of it. I'd rather have a smaller pile that's all mine than a mountain I'm sharing with every guru student on the internet. That's the whole game. Let me just give it to you straight. Real niches where I'd actually put them and why. S tier. Flooring, fencing, tree service. These are blue ocean and almost nobody is talking about them. Here's what blue ocean actually means in dollars. The leads are cheaper because you're not bidding the ad costs up against 100 other agencies for the same clicks. It's easier to stand out because the contractor's inbox isn't already full of 40 people saying, we run Facebook ads. And the work is urgent and expensive, so one closed job pays for your retainer 10 times over. A fence install is 5-10 grand. A roof replacement more, flooring a whole house, big ticket. These people have real money moving and almost nobody good is reaching out to them in a smart way. You're not the 10th agency in their inbox, you're the first, a tier. Home services that have money and demand but a little more noise. Junk removal. The local trades that aren't quite as untouched as fencing but still wide open compared to the hyped stuff. Junk removal specifically, I know firsthand. Because when I switched into local lead gen for home services, I picked up 7 clients and crossed $10,000 in a single month for the first time, after years stuck at $2,000 a month. One model switch, solid money, real demand, not a war zone yet. B tier, these work. But you're going to have to fight a little. There's money, there's demand, but it's getting busier and the leads cost more. Winnable if your outreach is sharper and your offer is tighter. Because they've heard the pitch before. You're not getting 30 yeses in 2 days here. You'll grind for it. C tier. And this is where I'm going to make some people mad. Roofing, solar, med spa, the famous ones. The ones every course tells you to run at. And I know this is where everyone tells you to go. That is exactly the problem. Yes, there's huge money in roofing. I'm not saying it's fake. There's also 300 agencies, expensive leads because everyone's bidding the same clicks up and a race to the bottom on price. You're walking into a knife fight as a beginner with a butter knife. The money is real, but your slice of it is tiny because everyone is already there. That's C tier. Not because there's no money, because there's no room for you. Here's the proof these tiers are real. A guy switched out of a saturated niche into one of these blue ocean ones and made $36,000 in 3 weeks. A fencing client of mine got 30 yes replies in 2 days. 2 days. That does not happen in roofing because in roofing, the contractor has deleted 9 agency messages before lunch. You try getting 30 yeses in 2 days in a picked over niche, you'll be waiting 2 months. Now, here's the part that actually matters because a tier list is useless if you can't make your own. Niches change. What's blue ocean today gets crowded in a year. So, I don't want you memorizing my list. I want you to be able to test any niche yourself in about 60 seconds. So here's the exact 3-part test I run before I touch any market. If you take one thing from this video, take this. 3 questions. 1. Is it unsaturated? Go look right now. Open Instagram, open Facebook, search the niche plus the word agency. Count how many people are already doing it. If you see 50 agencies screaming the same promise at the same contractors, that's your answer. Crowded room, walk away. If basically nobody is reaching out to that contractor like a normal human, you've found gold. You can be the only smart message in his inbox instead of the 40th. This is the one everyone skips, and it's why fencing beats roofing even though roofing has more total money. 2. Does it have money? A niche can be wide open and broke, and that's useless to you. You need a market where one job is worth real money to them. A flooring job, a fence install, a tree removal, a new roof. These are 4 and 5 figure jobs. And here's why that matters for you. If one closed job is worth 5 grand to that contractor, paying you 800 1,000 a month to get more of those jobs is the easiest math in the world. High customer value on their side is what makes your fee feel like nothing. 3. Is there an urgent need? Not, would this be nice someday? Does the customer need it now? A tree leaning on someone's house, that's today. A fence destroyed in a storm, that's today. A leaking roof, that's today. Urgency is what turns leads into booked jobs fast, which means your client sees results fast, which means your client stays and keeps paying you. If the need can wait 6 months, your leads sit and rot. Unsaturated, has money, urgent need, all 3. If a niche gets all 3 checks, it goes near the top no matter what any guru says. 2 out of 3 maybe. Miss even 1, you're going to struggle. Roofing fails the unsaturated test. Flooring passes all 3, that's the entire difference. And now you can run it on any niche on earth. Screenshot that quick. If you're still here, you're already ahead of 90% of people who picked their niche off a thumbnail. Stick with me because now I'm going to show you how to actually use this so you don't waste your S tier niche and then what this list cost me to figure out, which was not cheap. So you picked your S tier niche. Here's how you don't waste it. You do not walk in and say we run Facebook ads. Saying that is like saying we use a computer. Nobody cares. You sell a system, not your time. In a blue ocean niche, you have the room to walk in with one clean specific promise. Something like, I can add $10,000 a month in revenue to your business in the next 30 days. And if I don't, I'll give you $1,000 of my own money. Interested? That exact line lands in flooring. It gets ignored in roofing because the roofer has heard a version of it 40 times this week. Same offer, different ocean, completely different result. The niche is the thing that makes your offer land. And understand the math underneath it. On cold outreach, you're looking at roughly a 2 to 4% reply rate, about 2% positive. In a saturated niche, those numbers crater because everyone's numb to you. In blue ocean, those same numbers feel like a cheat code because you're the first one in. That's how a fencing client gets 30 yes replies in 2 days. It's not luck, it's the ocean. Let me be honest about what this cost me to learn because I didn't read it in a book. I spent about 2 years stuck at $2,000 a month. I sent 30,000 cold emails in a single month and almost all of them got ignored. I had my first panic attack at 4 a.m., hands shaking, vision going black. Because I was a freelancer with a team selling websites and SEO that nobody could measure and nobody actually wanted. I tried e-commerce, 6 months, 2 clients. I was picking markets nobody wanted to buy in and blaming myself for the silence. The thing that changed it wasn't working harder. It was finally moving into a market with real demand. I went into local lead gen, junk removal type stuff, and crossed $10,000 in a single month after the switch. Same me, different ocean. That's when it clicked that the market you pick matters more than how hard you push. So here's the receipt stack fast. Years stuck at 2 grand a month selling stuff nobody wanted. Switch to home services lead gene, 7 clients and over $10,000 in 1 month. A client who switched niches, $36,000 in 3 weeks. A fencing client, 30 yeses in 2 days. My best month, $80,000. 2 agencies now doing $50,000 a month plus. Consistent 250 plus clients signed. 60 plus agency owners mentored. Every single jump came after I stopped chasing the loud niches and started picking quiet ones with money in them. That's not a coincidence. That's the test working. Now let me be blunt about who this is not for. If you want me to tell you roofing and solar are easy money because that's what you already decided, this isn't for you. Those niches can work, but not for a beginner with no offer and no track record. You'll get eaten, and it's not the niche's fault. And if you're not willing to actually go count the agencies and run the 3-part test yourself, you'll just pick the loud one again and be back here in 6 months. And look in the mirror for a second. Half the time it was never a lead problem. You don't have a lead problem, you have an offer problem. And half the time the offer problem is just that you aimed it at the wrong overcrowded market. The other half, if you've sent a couple hundred messages and quit, that's a volume problem, not a niche problem. Do 10,000 outreaches before you say something doesn't work. The test only matters once you're actually in the arena. So that's the tier list and the test to build your own. Take it, money, urgency, unsaturated, and run your top 3 niche ideas through it today. Said, because here's who you actually are if you're still watching. You're not someone who picks the loud niche off a thumbnail and hopes. You're someone who picks the quiet room with money in it and owns it and prints while everyone else fights over the scraps. So go do the work. Run your top 3 niches through the test today. Pick the one ocean that's all yours and then go take it. That's the whole move.